Welcome back. Just a second for the pre-market rates to come in, and with the Nifty, SGX Nifty indicated minor downtick. Well, we will have to wait and see. It may not be as well because the Asian markets have also moved up from the morning lows, recovered a bit. Nifty is starting flat. Okay, it's still trying to make up its mind. Actually, these are wavered rates, so let's just wait by. It is looking like a flat opening, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was a brave green opening. Okay, there it's getting greener, about 15, 20 points thereabouts. We'll just wait for the rupee opening. Not much to look at that end. We haven't seen too much movement in currency. 66.32 was what the dollar cost at close on Monday, and okay, 66.35. So no indication here, just a very, very minor downtick for the rupee. So we let it be and let the market make up its mind and concentrate on trading strategies for the day, for the week, for the month, for the nearer term as well. Dr. C.K. Narayan has been speaking with us. Dr. Narayan, sorry, Siddarth Bhamre is also joined in. Morning to you, Siddarth. Well, Dr. Narayan, you were telling us that, you would give the market, enough breathing space in the downside as well while you negotiate it on the longer side. Now, can you give us a trade up until Thursday? Because there will be a lot of people who want to lighten positions ahead of the Thursday holiday because you come back with the FOMC behind you on Friday morning. So first, that trade.
I think if I were to go long, then, assuming that I have not gone long till now and we are looking to go long now, I would probably wait for a little kind of a breakout which comes somewhere around about 79.10 on the futures. So a little bit of indication that the market has upside momentum is what will be proved by a successful breakout, and that is what we want if we want to take a short-term trade. On the upside, this does not seem to have too much of legs to go much beyond 8,000. I think 8,000 would be a significant barrier both in terms of price levels as well as in terms of sentiment. So it's a 100-point trade, and for traders I think that is what is on the cards right now.
Alright, well, some of the stocks that you need to keep on your radar. One is the metal space. So Tata Steel is one of your big gainers today, up almost about 1-odd%. The 20% safeguard duty has now finally come through, and names like JSW Steel and Tata Steel could be beneficiaries of that. So both those stocks have gone up almost 20% from their recent close and in trade today as well.
I'm wondering if the tire stocks and the battery stocks. I mean, you remember yesterday Eveready's Amritanshu Khaitan was strongly arguing that the government is considering dumping duties on batteries as well.
Yes, and so on tires too, there is something being considered.
Yeah, maybe in sympathy, if they have acted in one space, they could be at least looking at the other spaces more seriously. Maybe we should keep tire and battery stocks, that is tiny cell makers, on our radar.
Alright, well, the other stocks that you need to watch for are names like Cipla, which CLSA has upgraded. So that stock is up 1%. Maruti Suzuki is up 1.5% after the FI limit has been hiked as well. But let's go across to Siddarth Bhamre of Angel Broking and get some trading ideas from him. Siddarth, hi, morning. It's been a couple of good days for our market, although on low volumes. How would you trade today?
Good morning, Sonia. We would be stock specific for next couple of days and wouldn't attempt to go long on Nifty or Bank Nifty because we are basically position traders, and from couple of days perspective we would trade with positive bias in some of the mid cap names or semi large cap names. But at the same time, what we observe in Nifty that implied volatility has gone up to 29%. And last time we saw such high IVs was before the election results in May 2014. At the same time, there is a confusion in market about the Fed outcome. So the outcome can be either there is a rate hike or there is no rate hike. But there is no consensus whether rate hike is good for markets in short term or it is bad, and vice versa. So such great IVs are there, but it may not lead to very significant move in market. According to my observation, whatever I have read across, that even if Fed increases the interest rates or it decreases, it's not going to augur well for the sentiments, and after a couple of days volatility, market would head down. So for positional traders, my suggestion is that not to get carried away by this bounce back. First thing, nobody's buying there. Lack of FIs as selling has led to this market going up, and at the same time volumes are not there, as you said. So even if after the Fed and whatever might be the outcome, if Nifty goes up to say 8,050 or 8,100, if at all, that would be a wonderful level to short this market again. So positionally we are not at all bullish, but from couple of days perspective, some stock specific ideas are there.
Okay. Dr. Narayan, would you want to play the metal space at all? I mean, there is fundamental news, but as a trading strategy?
Very much so, because if you look at the two names that you mentioned as being the gainers, Tata Steel and JSW Steel, these have already been up and running, and if you look at Tata Steel in particular, it's come down into very significant earlier lows and very strong retracement supports, and there is generally a diminution in the selling. So with if you couple it with this news, I think Tata Steel seems good enough as a trade for any type of trader. Short-term bounds can take you till about 260, 270, which is I think decent for most type of players, and if something better were to come along, you could even probably see more, because the the decline has been quite sustained. Metal space has been used as a favorite let's say hedging vehicle by professional traders, so you're going to have a kind of combination of short covering as well as value buying.
Okay. And the other stock I wanted to ask you was Coal India. I mean, it's gone from weakness to weakness after such a brave rally up until March or April, or maybe even later. I think it ran on up until June.
Yeah.
So is there a short candidate there?
I think the bus on shorts has been missed, that is for sure, because it's fallen from what, 450 rupees down to almost 330 rupees. So maybe a bit late in the day for going short. In any case, you have this OFS as an event. I think that was the main undoing of this particular stock, because the pricing was on the lower end. So maybe not a great short candidate at this level, certainly not something to buy into either. Perhaps it will just move with the markets. It's going to be one of those also rants.
Okay. Just stay on, gentlemen. We'll come back to you guys for a quick view on some more trading ideas. But before that, let's talk about the inflation data that came out yesterday. A. Prasanna, Chief Economist at ICICI Securities, joins us on the phone line. Prasanna, good morning. Given the kind of positive macro data that we got, both in terms of CPI, IIP, and even WPI, what's the sense you're getting about, the RBI's move? Of course, the rate cut is what everyone is expecting, but how do you see the moves from here?
So the CPI data was in line with our expectations, but it's I would say its last two data points have been below RBI's trajectory. And as far as the outlook is concerned, we think Jan-March CPI should average around 5.5%, which again would be below their own estimate. So based on all this, we think that RBI will cut the repo rate by 25 basis points in the September policy. But beyond that, we still think the outlook should be cautious. So at this point of time, we are not foreseeing any further cuts beyond the September policy.
Okay. The bonds have not done anything, Prasanna, in spite of all this activity from the Reserve Bank and the inflation numbers going probably expectedly below the 4% mark. What moves them? Are we condemned to trade between 7.75 and 7.8 for a goodish bit? What happens even on September 29th or after?
Yeah, so the way I look at it is if RBI does deliver a rate cut and also assuming the rest of the environment is conducive, as in rupee remains stable from here on, we might get a knee-jerk rally in bonds post the policy. But after that, again, I expect yields to drift up, and I think even with the repo rate at 7%, I wouldn't be surprised to see 10-year trading around 7.75%.
7.7?
7.75. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But why that? Because FIIs are not buying?
Yeah, so that is the caveat, right? So we don't know what RBI is going to decide about the FII participation in the DSEC market. So at this point of time, it is capped. Now, if they allow more FII participation, even in a staggered manner, that would definitely be a positive. In that case, then perhaps yields can come off. But my own sense is that looking at the kind of volatility we are having in global markets and also in some of our peer countries, the kind of volatility one can see in their bond markets, I think at this point of time, RBI shouldn't open up FII limits. But we'll have to wait and see what the decision is on September 29th.
All right, Prasanna, we leave it at that. So that's the word coming in from ICICI Securities. Yes, there will be a cut on September 29. That's the expectation. But beyond that, ICICI says that no further cuts expected
by the RBI. Back to 7.7, you're not even seeing the rally, if there is one, last for long, which is really what bank P&Ls are interested in. So for the ground reality, nothing much changes despite the RBI rate cuts, and that would be the 4th in a row. Okay, we are talking stocks yet again, and Siddarth, let's come to you with your picks as well. You also have a strategy on Coal India.
Yeah, so I concur with the view that this is not a shorting candidate, but a slight difference over here that we are expecting a small bounce in this counter for a couple of days. 450 to 330 stock corrected, and there was huge short positions which got formed, but these short positions have not got rolled over from from August series to September series, which clearly suggests that the incremental shorts are not happening. Even in recent fall, short didn't happen, and now yesterday we saw good upside traction from lower levels with good cash based buying, volumes being higher than the previous day despite overall market volumes are not that great, and in F&O segment also we did see some buying. So we don't have a very aggressive price target. Some shorts which are still left, some fresh speculative buyings can take this counter to 360, fix a stop somewhere around 326 and go long.
Okay, well, that's the word coming in on Coal India. You also have a very interesting strategy on Tata Motors, a pair trade, buy Tata Motors and sell the DVR. Take us through that.
Yeah, so overall we are not bullish on this space that Tata Motors is a very good buy or so, but statistically there are some observations. If you remember last year when market was in its own bull run, people were talking about how DVR should be priced at 90% or 95% of the original share, and then that story went for toss after Jan when market started correcting, and then Tata Motors DVR divided by Tata Motors share multiplied by 100, if you do that, that's a percentage. So it came down from 75% Tata Motor DVR, it came down from 75% to 53%. Now even in this falling market, what has happened, slowly and steadily the percentage has crept back to 72 and has now started showing declining trend. It is at 70%. We expect that this would come down to 60%. So there is a 10% trade which over here. If you go short on Tata Motors DVR and go long in Tata Motors share. So this is the pair trade we are initiating.
All right, fair point. Siddarth, thanks for that. Dr. Anand, I want to ask you two stocks before the gong goes and the market starts. Yes Bank and Maruti. They've already gained, but there is fresh good news. Some of the brokerages have upgraded Yes Bank and Maruti. The FII limit is off. Trades today and hereafter.
I think as far as Maruti is concerned, that's been on a very sustained uptrend, and there is no other trade in it except to keep going long. So what you do is just go down, step down to a lower time frame chart, try to put in your definition of a support, and if it trades down into that, you just keep buying, or you keep buying breakouts expecting that you'll not get smacked on the face with some volatility. As far as Yes Bank is concerned, there's been a very steep pullback, right, and that pullback was as much as about 50% of the last big rise. So you have dropped down into support. Right now, if you take private sector banks as well as PSU banks, they're not really in the best of health from a technical perspective. So within that space, maybe Yes Bank could get a little bit galvanized because it has reached down into support, and there is a little bit of news which favors it. So there could be a rally. I'm not really looking for anything substantial in any of the bank names right now. But given the situation right now, yesterday Bank Nifty did much better than the Nifty, right? So there could be a little bit of momentum. There could be a build up in ahead of whatever event is there. Maybe 29th is it's too early to build up for the 29th event. But there could be short covering, because if the Fed does do something which then prompts a hike or a rate cut here, if that kind of sentiment changes, so people may just want to take some money off shorts. So I think that would be the best. Not too much, but a little bit bounce on the upside.
Would you look at any level at all, if you can give us some numbers in terms of recent targets or near-term resistances for Yes, or a near-term stop loss?
I think markets right now are a little too volatile, right? If you get into some levels based thing, it becomes a little difficult to deal with the markets, right? Because that level gets fixated in your mind and you're waiting for that or waiting for it to get tripped. This market is extremely fluid right now because of very high level of
dynamic
insecurity.
Stop losses and resistances.
So Just take the money when you see it, that's all.
All right, I think we'll have to pause a bit because we are at about 10 seconds for the markets to open, and it's a completely undecided market. You know, the Sensex in the green by 0.2 and the Nifty in the red by just 0.06, but that's the level of indecision.
Yes.
Okay, there goes the gong, and let's see how things are panning out. It's still red for the Nifty and a little bit of green for the Sensex. Nifty now getting a little worse, 0.25% knocked off. Sensex following suit, 0.1, 0.2 knocked off, 0.3 knocked off on the Nifty at this point in time. So losses expanding, and I think it's now stabilizing at 0.3, if you can call 1 second as stabilizing. But let's tell you what's doing badly at this point in time. Actually, Vedanta is doing badly. M&M, Bank of Baroda were the top losers, but let's talk of the gainers, because Maruti clearly stands out, 1.5%. There was news to boot, and of course it's been having a nice uptrend in September itself. So that stock is spearheading the gains, 1.7 up. Cipla next, again there's news on Cipla in terms of brokerages thinking well of the stock, 0.4 up. Tech Mahindra up 0.4. Sun Pharma up 0.4, BPCL 0.4, and that's expectedly so. IndusInd Bank, Ultratech Cement, Infosys, Axis Bank, Yes Bank, all that is largely flat. They are not in the red, that's all you can say for them. Tata Steel has gained, and now at the moment it's not in a mood to take advantage of the news. So Tata Steel is just about flat terrain. It was a little bit in the red. Okay, now it's improving a little. Okay, now let me tell you what are in the red. M&M down 1.1, Power Grid down 1.1, Bharti down almost 1%, Kane India down 1.2, Bank of Baroda I told you 0.9 down, Bharti I told you 0.9 down, Dr. Reddy's 0.7 down, Hero Moto 0.7 down, Tata Power 0.8 down, Reliance 0.5% down, GAIL 0.8 down, Kotak Mahindra 0.5% down. So obviously the upgrade of Goldman Sachs is not working since the target price is way below what the current price is. Ambuja is down 0.6, Wipro down 0.7, okay, 0.6 actually. What else? NMDC, Tata Motors, all of them down about 0.5%. PNB, HDFC, it goes for all of them. And the 0.25% downs are HDFC Bank, Lupin, ACC, Coal India, really largely in the red, the index in terms of number of stocks. But at an index level, you should count this as a flat day. So clearly, I mean, not building on yesterday's last 2 hours or last hour run up, and not building on that FII positive number either.
Yes.
Profit taking already.
As we come closer to the big binary event, the Fed event, I guess, you know, more and more people will not want to take aggressive positions.
I guess everyone expected
the holiday
as well tomorrow, and so tried to front run it and took the money, a bit of the money today itself.
In the mid-cap space though, Lata, the mid-cap index is flat with a bit of a positive bias. One space that's doing very well is mid-cap FMCG. So, you know, names like Godrej Consumers, Colgate, Bata, Britannia, and we saw this whole lot pick up pace yesterday as well. There could be some genuine buying in some of these stocks that have corrected substantially. So this is one space to look at. Arvind is doing very well, as you know, Prakash was telling us that tie-up with Sephora will give a lot of revenues. The company itself said that they look to make quite a bit going ahead. Voltas and Just Dial are two other stocks which are looking very good this morning. So both those stocks are up. Just Dial, after that 12-13% rally yesterday, is up another 1% or so. So that's the list of winners. Sale from the metal space is also looking good. So that stock is up almost about 2% or so. But on the downside, you have names like Adani Enterprises, Suzlon, Adani Power, IFCI that are all down anywhere between 0.5 to 1%. These are the volume losers. So these are some stocks that you need to watch for. Also, Amtech Auto and Arvind Infra, two stocks that have been big movers this week. Both those names are now up about 20% for the week, and I mean in 2 days of the week, that is, and those are volume buzzers. HDIL, Jet Airways and JK Tyres are a couple of other stocks that are doing quite well today. But let's get back to our chat with our guests. Siddarth, you know, from the frontliners, if you look at some of the big weekly movers, cement as a space has done quite well, the likes of ACC, Ultratech Cement, etc. Anything in that space that has caught your eye where some trade is it can be initiated?
So ACC and Ambuja are, you know, looking good from lower levels. there might be some bounce which can take place, but as you know, you guys are rightly pointing out that people would like to be light before the event comes. So not till the end of Wednesday, those who are going long in these names or overall market, I won't suggest to wait till Wednesday end of the day, that is till 3:30, but I think till 1:32 only this trade would pan out of covering shorts, and then probably a few more fresh shorts by high risk traders would come into play. So till that time, so it's a very short trade duration wise. So if for that time frame, if somebody really wants to go long, then yes, they can think about cement space.
All right, Siddarth, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much. Have a good trading day.
Thank you.
Dr. Siddarth, a couple of more questions. Motherson Sumi, has one missed the short bus over there as well, or will it slow down?